checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight out of chaos into light, no first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride. Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat, 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4, smoke so thick can't see the door, but somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride, made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride, made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight out of chaos into light, no first place.
All righty, folks. I hope you are ready. Man, it just seems like there's something about Charlotte. No matter if it's at the Oval or if it's here at the Roval, there is just something about Charlotte that just gets you amped up to see some racing. And racing we're going to bring you tonight here at USRA. Man, only 2 races to go here at Thursday nights. Looks like our tower's not going to work. We're going to try to do this and pop the tower up, but man, just a few races to go. We've got tonight, and then we're going to Interlagos, and we are going to wrap up season 2 USRA, and what a season it has been, folks. I can't tell you how great of a season we have had, and here we are at the Roval under the lights. And we're going to take a look at where we stand in points for every single division, as some of these drivers are still out looking to get some qualifying laps done. and let's see if we can take you around maybe a more scenic version of where we are at. But let's take a look at where we are in the points. Now, the Pro Division, Michael Odell still leading your points. He has 385 points. Ben Lawrence is in second position, 350. We've got Hickman right there in third. In the Pro Sport Division, we've got Cole as your leader overall in points, 378 of those. Grayson Trexler is second, 352. And I got to tell you, I've been watching Grayson tonight in practice, and man, he seems to be on a mission. 18.292 on the board right now as a qualifying run, meaning he is going to start second on this field. So he has chosen to come out here, put some practice in really fast on the Roval. Watch for him. And for some reason, I feel like Grayson, your only winner outside of the Pro Divisions as an overall race winner, you know he wants to make that too so far for this season. Third in points in your Pro Sport is going to be John Houston. John is going to come out third on the grid there in Pro Sports after qualifying. In your AM division, Scott Murray, he is going to be your points leader. Roy is going to be in second, and Carson Rowland is going to be third in points. That just a bit further of a gap than it is in some of those other divisions. But if Michael Odell, Cole, and Scott have solid nights tonight, you can guarantee that really they've got to just get out here, start this race, and see what happens. Already, we've got some drivers out there in chat. We've got an Odell fan, Timothy Odell, with us every single week. Timothy, certainly appreciate that, saying, let's go. Let's get ready for a little Roval racing. You know that's what he's looking for. CKR saying hello from the pit road. And then a Chase Victory from Kimberly. Good to have you out there in chat, keeping me company tonight. And again, folks, just a race left after tonight. We are going to crown 3 champions, one in the Pro, one in the Pro Sport, and then one in the AM division. And I know that I can't wait for that. I hope you cannot wait as well. Here in American Speed Network, again, let's take a look at where we are going to be here for race info. So as you can see, we are going to be 71 degrees tonight here at the Roval. Man, this thing is twisty. It is turny, but it is going to be super quick. There is some elevation change. You're going to be about 700 feet up in the air, but your elevation change is going to be pretty drastic too, especially coming through that infield. And we'll keep an eye on that here at round 9. The track temperature is going to be 72 degrees. So 71 outside, track temp at 72, clear skies. It's just going to be nighttime, but it looks like we're going to have some fantastic racing tonight. All right, so it does look like qualifying is now going to come to an end. So let's see if we can get ourselves over here and show some results here in qualifying. All right, so we're going to start here in this AM division. Roy is going to be your pole sitter in that AM, a 19.377. Carson is going to be in second. Scott third. Chris is going to be in fourth. Peak in fifth, and then Rodriguez is going to round out your top 6. Now, Angel did not turn a lap, but we're going to see him out here on the track in that Pro Sport division. We're going to have Grayson Trexler is going to take your pole in that Pro Sport. We talked about that before the race. He is going to actually roll out second on your grid. Wade Moskowitz is going to be in second position. John Houston in third. Patrick Rich is going to wind up in fourth. And for your Pro and final division here, Odell, Lawrence, Perchowski, and Alex, good to have Alex back in action tonight, is going to be your 4 drivers that are going to roll off in your Pro division. All right, so there you have it. It is all over but the racing. A lot of people out here in chat. Timothy saying, makes me think you're mad at me by calling me by your full name. It's just the name, Timothy, that is out there. So maybe it's Tim. however you want to be called, just let me know. Go Michael out there in chat by Kimberly. Is that Michael Pete, Kimberly? Charles Lawrence saying, go Ben. Yeah, Grandpa in Australia. Charles, you have been with us. I believe it was last week too, and you saw some great racing by Ben Lawrence. And we know Ben has been fast every single race. Such a shame to see some of the finishes that Ben Lawrence has had on this season. I can tell you, I've spent some time with Ben in chat. Really solid guy. You know he's hungry, has a ton of speed. Little known fact maybe about Mr. Ben Lawrence is he is actually a pilot, young pilot at that, and he teaches some other people how to pilot these machines around. So here we go. You've got Odell. He is going to bring them down. Odell has been just dominant this year. Ernie Francis giving him a bit of a challenge earlier on this season. We have not seen Ernie. Shout out to Ernie if you are watching. Where are you, my friend? Be great to see you back. Alex has put in some fantastic drives. I remember that first race, Laguna Seca. Alex Bihari just all over the place with some speed. Has a fantastic paint scheme going on tonight with that red and gold scheme that you can see there in that BMW. Glad to see him back out here on the track. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with before this thing is over. Jeff Perchowski in that pro division. We haven't heard a whole lot from Jeff so far this year, but I got to tell you, when he decides to get to a track that he likes, man, he is dangerous. Oh, Kimberly is Michael Odell's grandmother. Okay, Kimberly. So not Michael Peak, Michael Odell. Kimberly, he has had one heck of a year. And I hear in real life, one heck of a year as well. All right, so here we go. That pace car is off. They're going to take that left-hand turn. This is going to leave the race over here to Odell. We are looking for a green to checker race as they're going to come through this really tight chicane side by side. Odell is going to get a nice jump down into turn one. Grayson is going to hang to the outside, now tuck in, and it looks like Grayson is going to get loose. Let's see if we can hang on to Grayson. He is back around, but that is going to put him at the back of the pack. My goodness, what a change of events already in this race. Let's go back and take a look. Watch Grayson just getting through this turn. No damage. Oh, man, from the outside pole back to the back of the field. He is going to have to fight his way forward now. All right, so what that is going to do is a very nice gap here for Odell. Already in this race, he's going to go through this chicane. 9/10 of a second is going to separate. Now only 6/10. Let's see if we can pop up your battle box. You're going to see it over there on the right-hand side of your screen. You can see what the gap is between the drivers. Now, that driver that's highlighted in green is the one that we are focused on. So right now it is Odell. All over the back end of Odell is going to be Ben Lawrence early on in this race. Let's see what Lawrence can do here. We know Odell is just going to hit his marks. Man, right behind them, it looks like Perchowski's all over Wade Moskowitz, but here is your battle for the lead. This is for the lead in the pro division and overall out here on the track. Lawrence trying to take a wide angle to undercut Odell. Not Odell, way too smart for that move early on in this race. You just see those sparks. Odell staying down low to try to block that run. Grayson is still on the battle back, folks. Grayson up to 10th now, overall on the track. We'll keep an eye on him throughout this race. One of those drivers I thought was really going to try and challenge Odell for the overall spot here, but it does look like Ben has decided to come out and just be great here with this BMW early on in this race. Now all over the back end of Odell. We're going to go on board with Ben. Ben again trying to take that higher line and undercut Odell. It's just not going to happen, especially right there. I just believe that Corvette's able to get off of the turn extremely well, and it puts Ben about 2 car lengths back. I think he's probably better off just hanging behind him here and trying to get him through the S's, or maybe on the exit of the S's. All right, this is going to cool for a second, but my goodness, a 3-way battle. You're going to see Alex there. Wade Moskowitz is in the green car. Jeff Perchowski right behind them. Oh, Wade is going to take that turn wide, open the door for Jeff. Jeff not able to take advantage. That's going to back him off. Patrick Rich now is going to be on the left-hand side. Now he's going to tuck back in line for Jeff and let Jeff gather that car up. Michael Odell, that last lap, going purple at an 18.27. Grayson now up to 8th position. Yeah, it does look like the front 2 are breaking away. You can see there's about a 6-second gap, 5.7 seconds between those front 2 and Alex there in 3rd. But Timothy, you know as well as I do, anything crazy happens, race control is going to throw that caution and we are bunched right back up. All right, now this battle is starting to cool, but this one heating up now. Grayson on the march back. Looking on the inside of Houston. I believe he's going to get that done. Houston's just going to pull over. That is not his fight right now. Houston falling back to 4th. Drexler is going to come up to 3rd. This is in that Pro Sport division. Grayson, starting on your outside pole, has a lot of ground to make up. Let's see, about 2 seconds is going to separate him and Patrick Rich in that 2nd position. So he does have a little bit to gain. All right, so here we go. Back up front, Odell still leading this race. Lawrence not letting him go anywhere. Half a second is going to separate those 2. Lawrence really taking those curbs hard. (17.81) last lap by Odell. A 17.983 by Lawrence. So these 2 really turning it on here. And now Lawrence is going to get tight right into the wall. Nothing doing, no damage here. Man, these 2 are going to go at it. I just feel like maybe tonight is the night that Ben has enough speed to compete here. He's always got enough speed, but now no one behind. He doesn't have to get through any craziness. Again, still trying to work that high line, and you can see Ben lose about 3, maybe even 4 car lengths this time, taking that high entry into that left-hander. Let's see if we can pop you up a track map. Here you go, and that's going to tell you where everybody stands. Let's do it by car number. That way you can see on that right-hand side your favorite driver and their car number and where they are relative on the map. So you can see out here on the actual track. Now we're going to go through the infield, pop back up on the oval. Now 1.6 seconds. It does look like Ben. Now Odell looks like has a yellow flag here. Not sure what is going on. That yellow flag is now gone. Grayson Trexler all over the back end of Patrick Rich. Now Grayson again spun turn 1 right out of the gate, and now he has found a march back to the front, and now they're going to touch. Patrick just a little tight. It looked like Grayson had that inside line. Patrick got really tight there to Grayson. Not a whole lot of room. Man, let's see if we can go back, take a look at that one more time. You can see now Grayson's on that right-hand side, firmly in that position, and just not enough room. Patrick just did not leave him enough room there. Whoa, what a miss. No damage to Rich's car, none to Grayson's car. All right, let's go right back up front. Now, we thought this was about 1.6 seconds just a few laps ago. Now, only 0.3 are going to separate these two drivers. Also really close is going to be your pole sitter in that AM division. That is Rory in a battle with Scott. Scott is your points leader. All right, let's see if we can go on board here. Take a look at what Scott is looking at. This is a little gyro cam. I don't know about you all, but man, that is a tough one to watch. Porsche turning extremely well through these tighter turns. You can really see the amount of space that he can gain here on Rory coming through those smaller chicanes on these bigger, longer sweeping turns. It does look like that BMW has a ton of power right here on the exit. You can just see him gain 3, 4, maybe even 5 car lengths on the exit. But getting into the turn, this Porsche really braking well, turning nicely, just not quite the same power getting off of these turns. All right, that is going to calm that battle a little bit. We're going to go back up front. It does look like both of these drivers settling in. Oh, it does look like, there you go, a little loose condition there by Odell, opening the door here for Lawrence. Lawrence now on the right-hand side. He is going to have that preferred line. If he can hang out there on his corner, I don't think he's going to be able to stay. He's going to try it. He is going to come down, take that right-hander. Oh, and now he's going to get in the wall, but he is going to make the pass right-hand side flat on that BMW, trying to give room to Odell. Odell backing off and giving room to Lawrence. Really respectful driving. Looks like both of those drivers almost wrecked themselves trying to stay off of one another. but Lawrence is going to make that pass. Now Odell is going to be the cat. Lawrence now the mouse. So you can see Lawrence maybe overdriving a bit. All right, now we're going to see what Lawrence can do. And now he's just got to take a breath. That was a crazy drive by both him and Odell. But now that is over. Now they have to settle back in. Still running 1 and 2. Alex is behind these drivers. Now, we talked about this being about 5.1 seconds, 5.2, a handful of laps to go. Now 4.8. So that little battle cutting some time off. Do not overlook Alex sitting back there at 4.7 seconds now behind. What you want to see from both of these drivers, Lawrence really being able to stay inside of himself now. One of those things he has battled with all season long is really just under pressure, hitting those marks, staying cool, calm, and collected. Definitely looks comfortable out here tonight. Now Odell's starting to take that wider turn out here onto the main loop here on the oval. .9 seconds is going to separate these two drivers. Now Scott and Rory are going to crash. That is your first and second leader here in the AM division. Let's go back and take a look at that. Oh, just don't know if there was a lot of room there for Scott. It looks like Scott's going to slow down and allow Rory to get back in front of him. Really nice driving by those two drivers. Kimberly saying that was great to watch. Charles saying, go, Ben, go. Barry, wow, some crazy racing. Timothy saying a great move. Yeah, it really was. I mean, they were up against the wall. Lawrence into the wall on the right-hand side to get that pass done. All kind of teamed up there with Odell getting loose through the chicane. Man, he's just one of those drivers where you just never see that car shake. Then all of a sudden, there it is, a little bobble. Opens the door for Lawrence, and then Lawrence takes that. Now taking it up to about a 9/10 of a second lead. Ben Lawrence is on something tonight, folks. He has got something in that steering wheel. He wants an interview with the most famous broadcaster in his own mind. Timothy saying sometimes a little bobble is all it takes. Yeah, it really is. Especially when they're this tight. You know, it's that close, just a bit of a bobble, and it doesn't have to be something. And if you probably talked to Odell, he would tell you, I've taken that turn 1,000,000 times. It's never done that. And then all of a sudden, I had to catch it, and that's all it took. But we have a lot of racing left to go. As now, folks, this is going to be about a 0.8 of a second lead. But the man still on the mission, Grayson Trexler, spinning lap 1, turn 1, has battled all the way back from last on the field to be right behind Wade Moskowitz here. And this is going to be for your overall lead in that pro sport division. 3/10 now is going to separate Ben and Odell, as it looks like maybe Odell wants a, now it looks like Odell has made that pass. All right, Ben Lawrence is going to come down and pit here. He is going to be in that window. So Ben Lawrence coming down to take a pit stop. That is going to set him up for the rest of this race. Now we will see if Michael O'Dell is going to follow. Maybe this next time around. Grayson is doing everything he can to get around Wade Moskowitz. Now, these two have tied up. This is not the first time they have started to arm wrestle here over some track position. Now, Grayson is going to be on the right-hand side, going to try to cross over. That move, as you can see, folks, we have seen this move 3 or 4 times tonight, just not able to make it stick for those drivers that take that wider entry, trying to get a cut down. Now Wade is putting the block on there in that green BMW. He is not going to make this easy. And Grayson really has just a ton of speed in that car. I think he is going to make this move. Maybe right here. He's not able to get off of the turn as well as Wade can. Wade showing a ton of patience and poise with that car all over the rear end. Let's go on board with Grayson. Oh, and now there it goes. Wade Moskowitz is going to go around. Oh, no. Now right in front of Patrick Rich, he's going to loop it back around and get straight. Just the pressure there. And folks, if we talk about this and from a racecraft standpoint, you know, 19 minutes into a 65-minute race, you just got to think, you know, wait, if he catches you that quick, do you let him go or do you fight? And Wade chooses to fight, and that is a gunslinger mentality. You have to appreciate that. And he wants to win races, and you know he does. But you also got to think, man, if you just let Grayson go there, do you hold on to a second position, get the points you need? And now it does look like Wade is now going to come down and pit. All right, so let's see if we can reset this thing. Ben Lawrence is back out on the track. He's about 40 seconds behind. Now, O'Dell is still leading. Only 4 seconds. So Alex has been able to cut this lead down to about 4 seconds from 5. So there's a second off of this lead already. And what you don't want to see if you are O'Dell is Alex Bieri, who is a teammate of Michael O'Dell. You do not want to see him get any closer because he is showing a ton of speed. Perchowski is third in that Pro Sport division. Trexler now is your leader. Moskowitz has come down to pit. That is going to turn second over to Houston with Patrick Rich in third. In that AM division, you have got Scott, Rory, Carson, Chris, Mike, and Angel. Angel not taking your green flag tonight. Man, we have seen this before. That KSM Media Corvette up front, really putting down some great laps. It was 4 seconds, now 4.6 seconds. So maybe a bobble there by Alex. Alex turned into 18.7, 17.9 by O'Dell that last lap. So O'Dell a little faster, Alex a little slower is going to separate these two. But as we do every single week, folks, we want to go around this track And we're going to do that with your leader, your overall leader here in Odell. So let's see if we go inside the lap with Michael Odell. All right, so there you go. There is a lap around the Charlotte Roval here with your overall leader and Michael Odell. Now, Alex showing that he has crashed. What has happened to Alex? Let's go back and take a look here. This is going to be a turn one, looping that around. Yeah, just on the throttle. Oh, nowhere to go for Prochowski. Oh, Alex is going to lose the rear bumper. They're going to have to come in and pit. Alex cannot get this car straight. Near miss there. No decklet. He's going to have to come down and pit. So quick. That is going to be an absolute killer there. Now, I got to tell you, folks, we're going to have to see how all of this is going to play out. I believe there's about 40 seconds between Ben and Odell. Now it looks like it's about 23 seconds. So we'll have to see at the end of this. It does look like maybe Lawrence coming down, trying to get some space between him and Odell just to see who has the quicker pace. Now, Jeff Prochowski, he is going to come down and pit. He's got that damage where him and Bahari got into it. Now, Alex, he's going to come down as well. We saw him. He does not have a deck lid on that car. All right, so we're going to reset this thing right now as we look. Michael Odell is the first car out here on track. He is leading your pro division. Now, second position is going to be Grayson Trexler. Now, Grayson spinning that thing, getting back out here on the track. There's going to be 16.5 seconds separating him and your overall leader of Michael Odell, but he is leading your pro sport division by 6.1 seconds. That is going to be over John Houston. There is John Houston now. Right behind him is going to be third in your pro sport. That is Patrick Rich. Man, Jeff Prochowski showing he has jumped to the pits with massive damage on that car. Let's see what happened. Oh, yeah, you can just see he does not have a rear clip on this car. Let's go back and rewind this thing. He's going to come out of the pits. Oh, that's going to end his night, folks. I do believe, unless he had a fast repair. Just comes out of the pits, cold tires. and is going to destroy that car. Back to the pits that he goes. He's going to wait that timer out, see if maybe he can take that fast repair. Okay, let's continue to go through the field. So that is Patrick Rich. Next in the lineup is going to be Rory. Roy, you saw him get into it with Scott a little bit earlier on. I believe Scott has come down and gotten his pit stop completed. He's going to be about 21 seconds behind Rory here. Rory has not come down and pit yet. Right after Rory on the track is going to be Ben. Now, the big question is going to be, where are these two drivers going to shake out? We know Odell's going to have to come down and get a pit stop. Now, it just looked like Ben is just getting extremely tight on the exit of that last turn. Continually touching the wall. That right front does look good on his car, so I don't think there's any damage. You can just see the different lines. Lawrence using every single piece of that track that he can. All right, so Chris Schultz, not a stranger to victory lane this season. He is going to be a second in your AM division. Alex, we saw him wreck earlier without a deck lid. He does have that fast repair completed. Back out on track now. Really nice paint scheme on this car. Ninth on the track is going to be Wade Moskowitz. Wade is fourth in your pro sport. We saw Wade and Grayson battling tooth and nail. Grayson and John Houston now in the pits. Is going to turn it over to Patrick Rich, but Moskowitz getting loose, rotating that car, spinning it on the track, putting himself all the way back in fourth position. Still in fourth now in the pro sport division. Scott's going to be next up in the AM division. Oh, we show John Houston has crashed. What has happened to John? Let's go back and take a look. Houston coming out of the pits is similar to Jeff. It is exactly what happened to Jeff. Just no grip in those tires, no heat in those tires. I feel like he's going to have to come back in and get another pit stop done. Odell, I believe, is out. Pits are done. That is what has happened, folks. And now there is going to be a 4-second gap. So Odell able to put 4 seconds on Ben Lawrence. You can see there it is on the track. Odell right here, that 56 machine fixing to hop on to the oval straight, and then Lawrence is right here behind him. 3.2 seconds is going to separate those two drivers. So the race is going to be on. Can Ben track down Michael Odell, or will Odell pick up yet another victory on this season? While we contemplate that, we are going to take a quick commercial break and be right back with you. We've got 32 minutes gone in the 65-minute race. Odell still your leader there in that pro division. Only 2 races to go. We are doing this and then going to Interlagos. We'll be right back with you.
In the pit lane, the engines roar. Driving GT3, we crave for more. Season 1's electric, the thrill ignites. Racing hearts under the floodlit nights. Adrenaline rush, we're breaking free. Side by side, it's you and me. Oh, we're driving towards the sun. Fasten your belts, this race has begun. We're chasing victory, fueled by the dream. And we're united still, we're a winning team. Drifting through coasting.
All right, folks, welcome back. I hope you did not go too terribly far away because we've got a race on our hands. Ben Lawrence, only a second is going to separate him and Michael Odell. Now you can see getting out of the way. Michael Peak is going to move over, allow these drivers to continue to race it out. 35 minutes to go. Now inside of a second, 9/10 of a second is going to separate your leader, Michael Odell, and Ben Lawrence. Ben has been slowly chipping away at this thing. Almost a second last lap, but man, you can see Lawrence really hanging that car out sideways in that BMW. That's actually going to hurt him quite a bit. It is going to happen, folks. 9/10 of a second is going to separate these two drivers. It does look like Odell staying calm and collected. Ben, in typical Ben fashion, is just all gas pedal, trying to catch up to this driver. Now 8/10 is going to separate these two. So Ben able to pick up a 10th there. You can see him just really getting into the turn hard. Odell is going to touch the wall on the exit of the last turn. That's going to cost him another 10th. So now Ben has struggling to get through turn 1. That is going to open up a pretty big gap, about a second and a half here. You can hear those tires squealing. Let's see if we can go on board with Odell. Let's see how hard Odell is really pushing this Corvette. 1.5 seconds is going to be the gap. So really bad lap here by Ben. Nice and under control. Man, just really hitting his marks so smooth. Let's see if we go back to Ben. Just a little burp of the throttle. You can hear that turbo chirp, and that's just him getting off of the throttle and right back on it. Little pushy right there on the exit of that turn. Ben loves to take that turn extremely wide there. Still 1.5 seconds is going to separate these two drivers. This is going to be your tightest battle on the track, believe it or not, even not from one division to the other, but actually out here on the track is going to be these two drivers. Been super quick there through that chicane. Going to gain 2/10. You see another driver. That's going to be Michael Pete coming down pit road. Now 1.3 seconds. So does look like Lawrence was a little bit quicker than Odell that last lap. 1.1 second now your gap. So again, Ben able to cool those tires off, get himself back in rhythm. It just seems like when Ben is in rhythm, he's got pace. When he gets himself out of rhythm, that's when Odell really able to crank it up and just pull away. Patrick Rich showing he has crashed less than a second is now is going to separate those two drivers. Let's see what happened to Patrick Rich. Yeah, we've seen this more than one time here. Just when they get caught up on that curb and they stand on the throttle and that car hops. That is what happens now. Under a second, 9/10 is going to separate these two. Maybe even 8/10 by the start finish line. Kimberly saying, as a cucumber, Michael, I can tell you, Kimberly, there's not a whole lot that is going to rattle Michael, or have not seen a whole lot rattle Michael so far this season. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. You know that Lawrence is going to have to come and rip this win away. Oh, and he is going to go extremely wide. That is really going to cost him a couple of tenths, and that is what happens. It does look like Ben able to turn in some fantastic lap times, and all of a sudden, just a quick little bobble costing him 2 to 3 tenths, and he just loses all of that ground that he gained. "42 minutes already gone in this race, folks. Just about 23 minutes to go. Yeah, that is the bobble again. Timothy saying that's the bobble. Yeah, one driver or the other. You can tell this track is slick and these drivers are out here on the edge. Tyler out there in chat saying, hi, John. Tyler, we have been waiting to see you back out here on the track, man. Really hope that is going to be soon. For those that do not know Tyler Crawford, that Liquid Death Mustang, multi race winner last year and a favorite here in the booth. 1.6 seconds is now going to separate Odell and Lawrence, as it looks like Odell, just that consistency is just pounding on Lawrence. And he is starting to stretch a rate. Now, let's go right back here and take a look. Scott is going to be your leader here in this AM division. He has caught up to Moskowitz. Moskowitz now third in that Pro Sport. Wade now is just going to pull over. That's not his battle, not his fight. They were saying, John, FYI, you do a great job of this. I certainly appreciate that. We've got one more race here for this season, and this broadcaster is going to retire from broadcasting, maybe get back behind the wheel just a little bit, but we certainly appreciate the kind words. Now, it does look like Scott, your leader there in that AM division by about 13.5 seconds. So he is, barring any catastrophic problem that he has, is going to be your race winner here. Same with Grayson Trexler. Now, Grayson, we saw him rotate that car around in turn one, now up 27 seconds over Patrick Rich. So he is going to be your winner, barring anything crazy happening. And it does look like Odell and Lawrence now going to be separated by 2.3 seconds. So it does look like Lawrence may be cooking those tires a bit. Starting to fall back. Chris Schultz has crashed. Let's go back and take a look at Chris. Just going to get into the grass, get a little long. No harm, no foul there for Chris. He's right back on track. All right, so there he is. Michael Odell still leading this race. About 20 minutes to go now. And so you've got a driver. It looks like he's starting to sneak away here from Ben Lawrence. 2.7 seconds is going to be your lead. Oh, I just heard it does look like maybe Carson Rowland. Let's go back and take a look at Carson. Odell, that little bobble. We talked about that before, Timothy. Little bobble out of Odell there. And that's the same spot that he bobbled a bit before that cost him. Not so much of an issue here, as he is now continuing to stretch that lead out. But let's go back and take a look at Carson. Yeah, same spot that Odell started to get a little sideways. Odell able to catch it, Carson not. Carson's back out. He is still running third in that AM division. Yeah, 2.9 seconds now is going to separate first and second. Really nice battle. Ben putting up a nice fight. But unless he gets those tires cooled down and starts to make another charge, Odell starting to sneak away here at the end of this race. All right, third overall on your track is going to be Grayson Trexler. Grayson is your leader in that Pro Sport division. Again, 28 seconds between him and Patrick Rich. So certainly the class of the field here in his division. Oh, Chris Schultz now showing that he has crashed once again. See what happened to Chris. Yep, just going to touch the right rear wheel in the grass. Able to keep the thing straight. Might not have even gotten an off track there. All right, so Grayson Trexler, third on the field, but number one in pro sport. Alex, we saw him crash before. It took the deck lid off of that BMW. He is back out on track, turning some fantastic lap times. A 19.0 last lap. Running fourth on the field. Patrick Rich now going to be fifth on the field. Second in the pro sports, second to Grayson Trexler. Again, about 29 seconds behind. Next in line, this is going to be sixth on the field, is going to be Scott. Scott is your leader right now in that AM division. Also your points leader in the AM division. So he is looking to extend that, as well as Odell Cole, not out on the track tonight. He is the leader. He is your leader in that pro sport. So Grayson is going to make up some valuable points. Now Wade Moskowitz showing that he has crashed. What happened to Wade? Looks like he's going to come to a stop, allow Ben and allow Michael Odell to get through, get himself back out on track. All right, so Wade Moskowitz next on track. Wade, third in the pro sport division, seventh overall. Roy right behind Wade, right there on the track. Roy's going to be second in the AM division. 18 seconds now behind Scott. Carson, we saw him looping around a bit earlier in the chicane. Same spot that it seems like Odell continues to have a bit of a bobble. Carson is ninth on the track here. Wade Moskowitz looks like he's going to have a slowdown. Chris Schultz now with a black flag. That's probably a pass-through penalty based on off tracks. All right, Wade is going to hop back on the track. Now, folks, you can see 15 minutes, now 14 minutes to go in this race. Every car just a bit spread out, but it's not over. 2 seconds are going to separate him, Michael Odell right here in the lead, and Ben Lawrence right behind him. Been a bit slower than Odell that last lap, about 0.3 of a lap slower. Looks like that BMW is losing a bit of traction on the exit of those turns. You can see Ben try to throttle up and having to overcorrect that car. 2 seconds your lead, now 1.6 seconds. Oh, and Ben is going to overshoot it. That is going to be a slowdown. You can see that yellow. I don't think that's going to hurt Ben because he's going to be able to be under heavy braking right here. But that is going to cost him. He's going to overshoot that turn, folks. And that might be the last bobble that Odell is going to need. 3.6 seconds is going to separate these two drivers now. Man, the night just keeps getting worse for Chris Schultz. Let's go back and take a look at Chris. He's going to come out of the pits. Maybe he's coming out of the pits. Looks like, man, maybe he's got some issues here with the steering. No, he's going to get this. Yeah, he's not able to turn that car. Yeah, it looks like maybe he's just taking that. So possibly some force feedback, some wheel issues here for our man Chris, and that's probably going to end his night. But man, what can you say about Michael Odell? We've got a lot of Odell fans out here in the chat, but I got to tell you, he has been tried this season. Alex has given him some fantastic races. I don't know if you folks remember that Spa race between him and Ernie Francis Jr., where they were door banging, coming through a couple of those high-speed turns. Ernie able to get that win done, but man, through all of those things, Odell has just been steady and really impressive. And one of those things that you can tell, folks, if you were looking to be an iRacer, calm, composed, and nailing those entries, those exits every single lap. And that's what happens to Odell. No matter if there's someone behind him, if he's losing pace or he's gaining pace, seems to always keep that car under control. And it has led to a tremendous amount of success for him, not only this season, but in his iRacing career. You are certain to know that he has taken some of those things from in real life and all of that racing that he does, transition that over to iRacing. Six seconds now, that lead. Transition that over to iRacing, and it has been successful for him. I believe he's about a 3,300 IR guy, but he certainly races much, much higher than that. Charles saying tough, Ben, but Odell is good. I got to tell you, Charles, there is nothing to be ashamed of for Ben Lawrence getting that second position and putting one heck of a show. I mean, he got that pass done early on. Maybe a miscalculation coming down pit road, and I believe he is going to think about that, because it did look like that gap, it was about 4 seconds when Odell come back out of the pits from Lawrence. Lawrence burning those tires up, trying to catch Odell, and that's what happens to you. If you've got a driver that's able to save those tires, and you got another driver having to push and burn the tires up to catch you, over time, it's death from 1,000 paper cuts, and that is how Odell drives, and certainly what happened tonight. But cap off to Lawrence, and a fantastic job. Now, we still have about 9 minutes of racing to go, so this thing is far from over. Big wreck behind. I could just hear the tire squilling. Let's see what happened to Michael Peak. Here comes Michael coming down into the chicane. There it is. Same place that you've seen a lot of bobbles. That's pretty heavy left front damage on that ass, and it does look like that tire is straight, so it did not knock the toe out. Certainly slowed him down. He is fired back up and heading in the right direction. Chris Schultz is going to take that car back down pit road. Now Ben Lawrence getting around Wade Moskowitz. About 7.5 seconds at this point behind Odell. So it looks like he has certainly lost the tires on that car. Run about 119s when he was running about mid 117s a little bit earlier on in this race. Just lost a little bit of rhythm here. And the fronts on this BMW might even be the rears. We saw that BMW sliding around on the exits as he tried to stay in contact here with Odell. Not a whole lot more this driver could do tonight. You can see still loose on the exit of these turns as he's trying to put the power down. But there has been a lot of races this season where Lawrence has been bit by wrecks, a bit of things that Ben himself would admit he has caused on his own. But tonight it really come down to his ability to run with Odell, able to do that early on. Maybe a little bobble coming down so early down pit road, but that will be something that he looks over as he goes back to this thing and maybe takes the Interlagos. You know, really impressive. These drivers last lap, Odell turned in an 18.129 to Ben's 23.56. So Ben has certainly lost the front tires on this car. You can just tell. Let's see if we can go on board here with Ben. It does seem like he is having difficulty getting some grip on this car. You can just see the different cockpit views. This BMW really narrowed that roll bar really tight to the top of the driver, but you see that BMW not afraid to get up on the curbs. Turned a 119.425 that last lap to a 18.924, so half a second slower. Now 10.6 seconds is going to separate Odell and Lawrence. You can really hear it. It seems like that's the rear tires that Lawrence has lost on this car. It's really not the fronts. He's turning pretty well. It's the exit of the turns that are killing him. You can see him just fighting that car under throttle. Now Wade Moskowitz has crashed. What happened to Wade? Is this going to go into turn one? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe taking that car to the pits. Scott has crashed as well. Got your leader there in that AM division. Looks like he's just going to slow down. That we saw that on the in-car with Lawrence. Just slowing down and allow Lawrence to go by. It's just going to show as a crash here. All right, so your two leaders. 3 leaders right now is going to be Michael Odell in that pro division. 11.3 seconds going to be that gap back to Ben Lawrence. Grayson able to battle back from that earlier spin in turn one. He is going to be your leader in that pro sport by a huge margin, about 54 seconds. And then Scott looking to bring home yet another victory in that AM division. 11.5 seconds going to separate him and Rory. And just a few more laps are going to remain here for Michael Odell looking to bring home yet another win. See that Corvette just on a rail, glued down to the track. 2 more laps, and this driver is going to put another victory in the books here at USRA. Going into the last race of the season. Tell you, this track reminds me a lot of that Daytona. All of these drivers looking to find some teams to run the Daytona 24 that is coming up. Really, the Super Bowl for iRacing, not too far from now, as they're going to wind this season up, go through a couple of these cold months, and then fire back up with that Daytona 24 in February. Maybe we'll try to follow some of these drivers. White flag is going to be in the air here for Michael O'Dell. Maybe we'll follow some of these drivers on a stream and broadcast some of their Daytona 24 attempts. So make sure you give us a subscription and a like, because we might bring that to you as we find out where they are going to go. But we still have some racing to do here at the Charlotte Roval. Michael O'Dell, now 15 seconds is going to separate him and Ben Lawrence. So all he's got to do, hit those marks. Come through this chicane one more time, and he is going to be your winner here at Charlotte. Nice and smooth. Nothing to gain. He can slow this thing down. 18.3 that last lap. But here he goes in real life and here on the sim, bringing home one great victory after another. Michael O'Dell is going to capture victory here at the Roval. Checker flag in the air, and there you go. Big win here by Michael O'Dell. Coming through these chicanes is going to be that Pro Sport Division driver, Grayson Trexler. Grayson going to get ever so close to that lead. And that points battle could come down to that very last race. Grayson Trexler, a bit of a bobble on the first lap, but coming back and battling back. Checkered flag in the air, Pro Sport Division winner. All right, so there you go. He is flashing the light. Scott Bowery, he is going to bring home another victory. He has just got to get this thing through the oval part, taking his time. 16 seconds going to be the lead between him and Rory. Slick Sim says, amazing racing. It was a fantastic battle. Timothy saying, great race, Ben. Way to stay in the game. Yeah, he really drove literally the rear tires off of that car. Taking that slowdown penalty, he doesn't care. Scott looking to bring home that win, and there you go. Checkered flag for Scott. Oh, and he is going to do the flip, and there he goes, folks, and it didn't carry on with him. I know there were going to be some fireworks at the end of this thing. Trying to see who was going to, that's got to be a 10, right? There was a couple of other drivers saying they were going to attempt it, but Scott able to put it down. 10 out of 10 for the flip. All right, folks, so that is going to be the end of it. Let's see if we can bring you some results. We're going to start in that AM division. And so that is going to be Scott, Rory, Carson, Michael P, Chris Schultz, and Angel is going to wind up in 6th. In that pro sport division, Grayson, Patrick, Wade, and John are going to round out your top 4. And in the pro division, great battle there. Michael Odell, Ben Lawrence, Alex Bieri, and Jeff Perchowski, 1 through 4, right there in the pro division. Now we are going to see if we can back this thing up and slow it down just a bit and see if we can find some of these drivers. Let's see if we can go out with the tickers. We don't want those anymore. We are going to see if we can find some of these drivers out here in the waiting booth. All right, so let's pick up your AM division driver and winner, and that is going to be Scott. Where is Scott? There he is. All right, we've got Scott. Let's see if we can bring him into the booth, folks. Scott, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep. What's up, John?
All right, man. So bringing home another victory. By the way, 10 out of 10. We followed you on the broadcast. Getting that flip done at the very end. Congratulations. Nice little battle tonight. Roval, looked like those cars were sliding around a bit. Just walk me through your race and how it went for you.
Yeah, honestly, it was killing the tires. It was a bit rough. I could feel the rears dying on me before my first pit stop and at the end of the race. And it's just all about keeping it on track and not spinning the car.
Yeah, and it did look like there was a couple of tricky turns. It looked like a lot of drivers losing it after they went in and pit. Did you change tires when you come into that pit? And what did you have to do if you did change tires to really nurse those things until the heat come up in them?
Yeah, I kind of pitted a little bit early and I traded tires out and I nursed them all the way out. I was taking it real easy. I was probably a couple seconds slower on those first 2 laps than my actual pace just because I didn't want to get any spikes of heat because that just destroys the tires even more. And after that, it was just about getting them to the end.
Well, you get them to the end. You did in an understatement because another huge victory for you going into this last race here at Interlagos. Looks like you've got this thing all but wrapped up here in season 2 for USRA for that AM division. Man, we're going to turn it over to you, Scott. Let you give your shout outs.
Yeah, I just got to shout out everyone for some good racing and hope to see you guys out next week.
We're going to be there and hope to talk to you. We'll either talk to you in victory lane once again, or certainly when we crown that AM champion. So congratulations on another fantastic win tonight.
Thank you.
All right, so there is Scott, and now let's see if we can find Grayson. Grayson, your overall winner in that pro sport division. Let's see if we can bring him into the broadcaster booth. Grayson, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Well, man, listen, from the outhouse to the penthouse, right? So really nice qualifying run. Little bit of slip up there in the beginning. Thank goodness nobody got into you. Having to start really anchor on the field and work your way back up. And man, you did it. You finished, I think, 3rd overall on the field, battling all the way back up. Walk me through that first turn and then really how the race went from there.
Yeah, I already told Michael I was going to be aggressive on lap 1, and he just ran turn 1 a little slower than I thought he was going to, and the car just snapped out from under me. So had to do my last to 3rd place challenge, but I made it back up there.
You did, and really in good fashion. We watched you all the way through that as you started to creep yourself back up. I really thought, from a qualifying standpoint, had the opportunity, if you did not loop that car, to really battle for the overall victory tonight. but man, bringing home another fantastic race. This is going to tighten up that points battle going into next week there at Interlagos. Do you know that track? Are you comfortable with that track? What do you expect out of this last race?
I I know Interlagos, but not great. But before the race tonight, I had a 201 point lead over Wade, so I think I should be okay going into Interlagos.
I think you've got it. I think we're going to crown a champion in this pro sport division next week. As long as you take that green flag, even if you don't, you can hop up here in the booth and chat with us. But fantastic job tonight, man. We're going to turn it over to you. Let you give your shout outs.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank anybody who tuned in to watch me. I know my girlfriend Madison, she was out there watching tonight, so thanks to her. And then I want to thank all my Team John Houston teammates that showed up and ran tonight. Houston, Bahiri, and Odell.
You did it. Fantastic job on another win. Look forward to speaking to you and crowning a champion in that pro sport division next week.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so there is your winner in that pro sport. Now, let's bring in the man of the hour here, Michael Odell. Let's see if we can get him in the booth. Michael, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, that was like without its fireworks there, about 3/4 of the race. You and Ben having one heck of a battle. Looked like Ben chose to go down pit road a bit early. You stayed out, and that was really all she wrote, just consistency here tonight.
Yeah, during our first little side by side, when he got by, he hit the wall in his right rear. It looked like his toe link got bent. So he had like DeLorean levels of camber on the right rear from the tap, and then I think he just brought it into the pits early to try to repair it.
Well, and repair he did, and it looked like he was able to use some tire to get back to you. But man, it looked like he just lost the rears, and you just Mr. Consistency, hitting those marks every time, able to pull away. It was a really nice battle in the beginning, but at the end, just too much Michael Odell. Fantastic job picking up another victory tonight.
Thank you very much, sir. That hopefully we can keep the streak going. This is gonna be number 3. Hopefully we can go for a 4.
Well, listen, you bring home another fourth, and no matter what, we're going to crown you as a champion here in this pro division in season 2. So how do you think Interlagos is going to go? Are you comfortable with that track, and what can we look forward to next week?
Well, it's a track I'm familiar with because of a lot of previous leagues that have always used it. So I definitely know the track. I will have to brush up with GT3s, but hopefully we could see me in the booth next week as well.
Well, listen, either by win or crowning the championship, you're going to be in the booth next week. But man, a ton of fans out there in chat that root you on every single week. Make sure that you go back and watch that, because you certainly have your fan base out here and picking up another victory. Man, we're going to turn it over to you and just let you thank your sponsors.
As always, thank you to the mom and dad. Thank you to the 5 families. If you know, you know. And then also shout out to the real sponsors, TL Financial and Page Construction. Both they have been supporting me in my IRL career, and it's cool to have it where even from time to time they'll check in on the stream ones. So much appreciated.
Yeah, it has been a heck of a ride so far this season. One race left. We still have some work to do, but man, it has been one heck of a show and another fantastic race for you tonight. So congratulations, and look forward to speaking to you next week.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you.
All right, so there is your overall winner, Michael Odell, picking up yet another victory. Like he said, that's 3 in a row. He is going to go for 4 next week, folks. Everybody out there in chat, we certainly appreciate that. If you have not given us a like, we would thank you if you could do that as well. But same place, same time, and we are going to wrap up season 2 on American Speed Network next week. USRA Thursday nights in this GT3 series. We're going to crown 3 champions. That's going to be the Pro Sport, and the AM division. Make sure that you are there. We're going to bring you some Interlagos racing. I am John Ross, always in the booth for you. We certainly appreciate everybody tuning in, and we're going to talk to you next week.